There's a reason why we do not let our children pick out the house we're going to buy or the car we're going to buy. Welcome again, everybody, to the show. This is OTR Vantage Point. My name is Mark Kelley. I am from Kelley Defense and On the Range Podcast. Don't forget to check out all of our past episodes of Vantage Point, On the Range Podcast, as well as War HOGG Words of Wisdom. Also, be sure to check out the On the Range Podcast Patreon page at patreon.com/On the Range Podcast. Now, there is a reason why we do not let our children pick out where we live, what house we're going to buy, what car we're going to buy. Their decisions are based on emotions. And typically that does not turn out very well if you choose what house you're going to buy, what mortgage rate you're going to use, or what car you're going to drive. It usually doesn't work out very well if all those decisions are based on emotion. That's exactly what we're seeing now. We're seeing a lot of things that are going sideways for a lot of different people. Now, if you're going to vote, if you're going to elect people on emotion, if you're going to choose who to listen to based on emotion, if you're going to align yourself with people, an activist, solely based on emotion, you might want to rethink that. It just doesn't turn out well. Right now, we have a lot of things going wrong. I can name off a few just right off the top of my head. And that was why I wanted to bring this up on the Vantage Point. Gas prices, unemployment, a ton of jobs that are available and no one's taking, the pullout of Afghanistan, stranding Americans in Afghanistan, green card holders, who, by the way, have the same right of entry into this country as American citizens. All these things are disasters. Now, you can sit there and say what you want. This isn't who's right or who's wrong or who's the better administration, who's the not so good administration. But the previous administration, whether you liked him or not, he didn't do this. He didn't do this. Policy led directly to American loss of life. Policy. And it's still not going well. It's a disaster. Oh, we shouldn't drill because it's this and it's bad for that. Okay, now we're solely dependent on everybody else to bring us our oil. Prices are going up. Well, this is the pandemic. People, if they don't want to work, if they're scared to work, we should make them pay their rent. Okay, that's fine, but there's a consequence for that. There's a consequence for all these things. On a previous episode of The Vantage Point, we talked about how we have more jobs available than there are people applying for unemployment. It's unbelievable. That means everybody who's applying for unemployment has a job waiting for them. They're just not taking it. Now, don't even get me started on the major cities, the crime, all these policies that they're making. Who's to blame for this crime? And guess what keeps happening? The violence keeps going up. Again, all these decisions are based on feelings, emotion. That's not the way to go, people. It's my opinion, standing down looking from the OTR Vantage Point, that is a terrible way to go. Terrible. All these policies keep making it worse. Keep making it worse. I was watching the news today while I was doing work. My job requires me to work on all the holidays, which is fine. So I'm working and I'm listening to the news, and they're talking about the pending unemployment benefits, federal benefits that are leaving. They're going away. And the anchor asked the field correspondents, is there any recourse for those people? And she listed off a bunch of things. Yeah, you can go to the state, you can go to your local municipality and see what benefits are out there. I tell you what you got. You got a job waiting for you. Go take one. Go back to work. Why isn't that number one? Why isn't that number one? Again, the policies for the gun violence, so-called gun violence, it's all just violence. Let's just say what it is. It's violence. Well, it's this problem. It's that problem. Well, maybe. But the policies that you're making and taking the money away and the funds away from the police, that ain't working. And that's an emotional decision. Oh, I can't believe I saw the police do this. That was terrible. They had to arrest that person, and that person had to get physical with the officer because he was afraid. Well, you see what's happening. You see what's happening. The gun violence, the straight-up violence. You see what's happening. Violence is going up everywhere. So, like I said, there's a reason why we don't let our kids pick what car we're going to drive, because he's going to pick what he wants, not what he needs or what's best. And that's the same way what we're going with all the decisions that people are making now. Americans are smart. Americans are very smart. Start thinking the problem through. Figure out what's best. Don't let emotion creep into it. Because sometimes what is needed isn't the most popular thing. But sometimes you just have to make that decision because it's what's best for you and for everybody. Hey guys, tell me what you think about this episode. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on the audio side of the house and you're in your car, you're driving around, wait till you stop, and then stop and give me a 5-star rating. And do that with all the podcasts, War HOGG, Words of Wisdom, and On the Range podcast. And make sure, again, you check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/On the Range podcast. See you guys.